Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Andrea Griffin Rogers here, your spiritual caregiver, spiritual mentor, here to give you your wellness check-in today. And God is saying to you today, hurt people hurt. Healed people heal. That means that some of you out there are hurting inside. I don't know what you're hurting from. It could be a divorce. It could be a loss of a child or a loved one. It could be you lost your job. It could be a relationship ended. It could be a friendship betrayal. Whatever it is. It could be even something from your past that you have yet to heal from. And every now and then, like, a thread hanging out on a sweater or an outfit, when you pull that thread, when somebody pulls the trigger, here it goes, it comes out. And now all of a sudden you're bleeding on people who didn't cut you. Why? Because you did not heal. You're hurting inside and you're afraid to admit that you're hurting. I had a conversation with somebody recently and I was ministering to them and mentoring them, and they were saying how, oh, Andrea, everything you're saying, I know it, you're so right. I'm just scared. I don't want to do it because I feel like, and they kind of described it as like Pandora's box. Like it's just going to come out, and they were just too afraid to open that box of their past. But that past is keeping you in bondage. Why won't you just address those areas? And I guess some of you may say, well, Andrea, it's too hard. You don't know. I do know. I talked about it before. I talk about it all the time. You know, I went through my own pains and battles, not just in the wilderness season, before the wilderness season. There have been some scars that go back to even childhood abuse and all. I went through it. And yet, God has helped me to heal. And because I've healed, I'm able to heal others. But I had to address those painful areas that I was too afraid to address. I had to deal with those areas of my heart that I was running away from. I spent years, y'all, and I don't want you to do it. And some of you may have done this. And God is saying today, stop running. But I spent years running until I got to the point where God even said to me, as He's saying to you, stop running. Enough is enough already. I need you to heal. You've been running for far too long. You've been trying to sweep that problem under the rug every now and then. And some of y'all know what problems it is. Every now and then you think, well, some years done went by, so you over it until something comes up, and again it triggers. That's why it's called triggers. It triggers a memory of a past place you have yet to heal from. I could think about it like as I'm getting out here, and your girl's single, so God has released me to start dating again. And I'm finding that I'm meeting, supposed Christian guys. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day why I said supposed. But everybody that say they Christian ain't living Christ's way. So, but and so I've met different characters, different people, different men. And I remember one conversation I had in particular with this one guy. I mean, fine, y'all, fine. But just because you look good on the outside don't mean that heart posture look good. And so, from outside appearance, I went by that. Like, okay. And on paper, like you got everything together. Okay, bruh. Uh-huh. Until like a sweater, like a piece of thread hanging out, I pulled that thread, and then woo, shadow skeletons came falling out, and it was stanky, it was nasty, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, yeah, deuces, bro. I'm gonna pray for you and wish you the best. I pray you get healed. And they try to argue me up and down that they weren't healed. Boo, if you were healed and you weren't hurting, you wouldn't be bleeding all over me. Bro, do you see? Not just the red lipstick and red nails I got on. I mean, child, I had blood over me, okay? And of course, I mean this metaphorically speaking. Like, it was so much mess that they dumped on me from, for example, their past relationship. Because some of y'all swear you've healed. Oh, no, I'm over that person. Until you get to the next person. And then, first of all, you're so guarded, and they're trying to figure out why you're so guarded. And you think it's because, oh yeah, well, God told me to guard my heart. And so, no, boo, your heart is guarded by offenses. You've been offended, you've been betrayed, you've been taken advantage of, you've been hurt in the past. And so you put up these barriers around your heart so that nobody can get in, because why? You automatically go into the next relationship or the next friendship believing that the person who is new will treat you the way the old person treated you. And you may say, no, I don't. Yes, you do. That's why the person says to you, like, well, you don't really want to open up, but you're not really, talking to me. Or why do you keep questioning if I don't answer my phone? And I tell you I was doing this or doing that, and you call me a liar. Come on, I'm pulling somebody's card today, baby. God is saying it is time to heal. Stop bleeding on people who didn't cut you. Okay? Heal first, mend that wound. Then when it's fully healed, then you can go out and not have to worry about somebody touching that wound. It's just like if you have a scar on your hand or something, and somebody, if it's still open, somebody touches it, it stings, it burns, and you lash back. But when it's healed completely, and somebody go to touch it, you don't even feel nothing. God wants us to love in that same way. Love as if you've never been hurt before. Love as if nobody has ever offended you before. Establish friendships and relationships with people as if you have never been betrayed or hurt before. But some of y'all can't even do that because there's so much skeletons in your closet. There's so much baggage that you won't even address that mess. And so you're taking that baggage, that garbage, and putting it on other people. You're taking your already bloody wound that you just put a bandage on, and yet your cut is bigger than the bandage. And then you go into the next relationship, you go into the next friendship, you go into the next job, and you're bleeding on people who didn't cut you, and they trying to figure out what is the problem. And then here you are in this next situation saying, well, it's just them. Baby, you done went through how many jobs? You done went through how many relationships? You went through how many people? You went through how many friendships? At what point? You went through how many churches? Hello, somebody, because now y'all got church hurt and you won't heal. You done went through how many and you blame it on everybody else? At what point, boo-boo, will you look at yourself in the mirror and say, maybe it's me? Maybe I'm the one that's stinking. You ever had somebody be like, "Ooh, something stinks, something stinks." Is my breath stinking or something? No, it's your breath stinking, boo. Okay. You need to heal. You focus on everybody else, and God is saying for you today, it's you, boo. It ain't everybody else. Because what's going to happen is you're going to keep going into different situations, different relationships, and you'll keep saying it's them. You'll keep blaming it on everybody else instead of healing and recognizing I'm the one that's hurting. And I'm the one that's causing most of my pain. I'm the one that's causing most of my turmoil and troubles. All I'm doing is going from one situation to the next. But I'm the one that's causing all of this. And so God sends you different people and you keep blaming it on them and saying, well, it's just the same person. No, it's you attracting what you're projecting. Hello, somebody. I talked about that before. I was recently ministering to somebody else, and I mean, this is in a dark place, and they always talk about how it's there's a lot of liars out here and a lot of cheaters and there's thieves and there's evil out there, and then they wonder why every new person they come into is exactly what they spoke, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. You cursing yourself, boo, because you won't heal from the past people who were those things that hurt you. And so you're wondering why you keep attracting those same people, because, similar spirits will keep coming to you until you decide to break that chain and say, I'm going to heal in this moment. I'm not going to keep letting the enemy attack me in the way. I'm not going to keep letting those negative people and negative energies, come towards me. Instead of complaining about it, let me address the areas of my heart that I need to address. Let me address the areas of my personality that is just stinking thinking. Let me address those areas so that then I can help myself heal, work with the Holy Spirit to heal my heart, the ultimate heart surgeon, and then I won't need to go bleed on other people. And I won't have to worry about when somebody else comes along, if they touch that wound, it's going to hurt. Why? Because I've already healed from that. I had surgery on my hand years ago. I had carpal tunnel release. And for a while, if you touch that part of my hand, ooh, I winced in pain. I screamed, I kicked, I hollered because it hurt. Now, you can touch this all day long. It don't bother me. Why? Because I've healed. It's the same principle. I'm giving you practical examples for spiritual principles. As long as you keep thinking that you're bandaging or keeping offenses around your heart, thinking you're guarding or protecting you from being hurt, you're not really doing it. You're hurting yourself, and the blessing can't get to you, and you can never get free from the bondage of the shackles that you put around you, the barriers that you placed around you. Now, yes, there are certain times and there are certain ways that you can set up healthy boundaries, but they have nothing to do with offenses. If you're setting up a boundary that has to do with an offense because somebody did this to you before, so you'll never let yourself get in that situation before, baby, that's not a healthy boundary. That's an unhealthy boundary. You're setting up fences of offenses around your heart because you won't heal. Hurt people hurt. Healed people heal. When you are in a healed place, you're able to, like I said, go around people, new or old, and even those that cut you, and you're not bleeding on them anymore. You have wholeheartedly forgiven them, and you're at peace. That even when something chaotic comes up, even if the new person betrays you, whatever, you're able to still stay in God's perfect peace. Why? Because I'm not even thinking about what somebody else did to me and how this triggered that, because there's no triggers. I'm healed. I can love you. I can encounter you. I can have a friendship with you. I can have a fellowship with you and not have to go in it with the mentality of what somebody else did. I can love you as I would love myself. When you love yourself, you don't, or if you truly love yourself, you should not keep bringing up your past mistakes, because you should get to a point where you forgive yourself for what you did not know, where you forgive yourself for hurting you. You should get to the point where you look at yourself in the mirror and you smile because you love the skin that you're in. You're no longer complaining and nitpicking about the person you see in the mirror. Hurt people hurt. Healed people heal. When you are at a healed place, you're able to project that onto others. People encountering you, it's a good thing. They enjoy the pleasantries of being in your company because you have healed, and that exudes from you like light shining out. I mean, we're supposed to be salt and light in the earth anyway. If you believe in Jesus and you're a follower, what does light do? It illuminates. What does salt do? It flavors. But if you've lost your flavor, your good flavor, you can't make salt salty when it's lost its flavor. When the light goes out, you can't. It's like a candle when it gets to the very end of the wick. I don't care how much you keep trying to light that flame, and it's not flaming. Some of you think you have light in its darkness. And God is saying today, enough with that. Come out of that. I need you to heal. Stop hurting secretly. Stop hurting and bleeding on people who didn't cut you. And so back to the example of the relationship, or the person I was, going to date. Again, fine as wine, as they say, on paper, look good, had all the credentials, so to speak, education, this, that, and the other. But as soon as I pulled that thread of, well, how was your last relationship? How long was that? Oh, baby, I got dumped on, I got bled on, and it was like, what the? I had to figure out where I was cut at, and it wasn't even no cuts on me. It was because they bled everything on me. And I mean, they cussed out they ex to me. I ain't your ex. I was trying to be your next, but now I'm like, deuces, okay, on to the next. Because I didn't even cut you. And you sitting here lashing out at me and you cussing me out. And yeah, bees be this and da-da-da. I'm sorry, you supposed to be a Christian and you calling a woman a bee? And I don't mean a buzzing bee, y'all. Y'all fill in that blank. No, you ain't healed, bruh. You ain't healed. Cause I don't understand how that's your ex, and you sitting there lashing out at me, and you cussing her out as if I'm her in front of you. If you supposedly healed, you're not ready to move on. You just tired of being single. And a lot of you out there have gone through that or may find yourself there now. I've been through that too. But for me, I would rather God's best than to feel like, well, since I'm tired of being single, let me just go settle. Why settle when God got better for you? God said, I want to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ever ask or think, according to the power that works in us. So the power that's working in me is great. I've healed. So why would I want somebody's mess? Why would I want somebody who hasn't healed? Why do I want somebody who's hurting and then I want to partner with you because I just want to settle? Nah, bruh, nah. You can go somewhere with that. To the left, to the left. Okay. I don't want that. And you shouldn't either. Instead of trying to focus on getting under the next person, how about you heal? I mean, many of you have seen even certain celebrities who claim that they've healed and then they don't. And then what happens is they get into under the next person, they get into the next relationship and the next, and onward and onward and onward. And then you wonder why they keep divorcing, why they keep having breakups, why they keep having mental breakdowns, why they keep having drug addictions, or why they having suicidal thoughts, or why did some even try to end their life? Because they were secretly hurting. And instead of getting the healing that they needed, they instead concealed it or bled on people that didn't cut them. God is saying, stop that. Enough already. Let this be your opportunity, your wake up call in 2023, or whenever you watch this, to heal. Enough already with hiding your pain. Enough with hiding your skeletons in the closet. Because eventually they're going to continue piling up and piling up. People are smelling the aroma of a dead body in your closet. And you got bodies, okay? Because you've been hurting for far too long. Some of you even since childhood. And you do not want to address that mess. So you keep hiding it in the closet and it keeps stinking. And God is saying today, please stop. I need you to get to the place of healing. How do you do that? Well, first step is to acknowledge it. Acknowledge where you're hurting it. Acknowledge the pain that you're in. If you can't be real with yourself, how can you be real with anybody else? I talked about this before in another video. Be real first, please. If you can't go look at the woman or man in the mirror and say to yourself the areas that you need help in, the areas that you're hurting, and then even take it to the Father and pray to the Father who knows all of you and all of your heart anyway, because he created you. How you going to address the mess? You can't even address it in your own heart. So again, you got to dig in your bag and get out of your pride and get into some healing. I don't want to hear no more, and God doesn't want to hear anymore either, of like, well, in my community, we don't do that. In my family, we don't talk about our pain. We don't talk about our problems. You know, in my culture, we don't go to counseling. God is saying, how about you break the tide? Break the chains that has kept your family in bondage. Because for everybody who told you that, look at their life. I'm not talking about look at the what you call success of their life, of what they got on paper, how many cars they got, how many houses they got, how much money they got in the bank. No, look past that, boo. Are they happy? Is there peace that surpasses all understanding? That no matter what situation that they encounter, there's peace in their heart. They're not lashing out. They're not cussing nobody out. They don't even use that type of language. There's peace. Do they smile all the time? Is there joy in their life? Is there contentment and gratitude in their life, in their speech and where they talk? Is there light illuminating from them that shines so bright that it attracts you, and once you draw close to that, you like, please share that light with me. How are you just so full of brightness? Because if they don't have that, then the light they really have is darkness. And you've been so focused looking at the things that they have on paper that you have missed the parts of their heart that is hurting. So why are you taking advice from people who haven't even done the healing process themselves? That's foolish. Dare I say, that's like going to a physical therapist for help with a ailment in your body, and they sitting there walking on a cane. I'm sorry, how you gonna help me and you ain't help heal yourself so that you ain't gotta walk on no cane? No, thank you. I want somebody that is agile, that's fit like an athlete, that can help me heal from my pain, heal from my wound. God is saying the same thing to you today. You don't go to your best friend to do heart surgery on you. You go to a cardiologist because they're equipped. They've done the studying, the skill set they have to do the work on your heart. So why do you keep going to the wrong people with the wrong advice? Enough with that already. So that's number one, is address your mess for yourself. Then number two, seek the help you need. If that means finding, like me, a spiritual counselor or caregiver, spiritual mentor. It could also be finding a licensed Christian therapist that will help you. Then the third part, which ties into the second, do the work. When those areas come up as you unload in those safe environments to those safe people, when those areas come up, then do the work. Acknowledge those areas of your heart that need healing. And then when they give you an assignment to do, they show you a way to help heal those wounds and those barriers. When they give you constructive criticism, take it inward and do the work. I've talked to many people who go to, Christian counselors, and they tell you what to do and you don't do it. And then you wonder why you're still hurting. And then I say the same thing, and they're like, oh, my counselor said the same thing. Yeah, I know, because God has us in your life to help build you up, build your spirit man or woman up, but also build you up emotionally and physically and mentally. But you won't even do the work. And you sitting there praying to God to answer your prayers, and he's like, I've given you answers, and you won't do the work. I'll give you an example, and I talked about it before on my podcast, Agents of Revival. Go subscribe and listen to that. It's streaming on all platforms, cheap plug. But it's like the example of, and many of you may have heard of it, where there's a man stranded on an island and he wants to get back home, and there's no food enough on the island, so he's like going to die if he doesn't get help. And so he's praying to God, Lord Jesus, please send help, send help. And so, God, you said you'll rescue me, come rescue me. And so God sends a cruise ship his way. And he tells the cruise ship, no, sorry, keep going, because God said he's going to send me help. So the cruise ship leaves. Then he keeps praying, God, please send me help, send me help. And then here comes the helicopter. And the helicopter, throws down a net to, help them climb up the rope. And he's like, no, God gonna send me help. Well, you know what happens? That man dies. And he gets to heaven, and he like, Jesus, what's up, man? Like, why you ain't send me no help? And Jesus is like, I sent you help. But each time I sent you help, you ignored the steps that you needed to take to help yourself. You ignored the work that needed to be done to get out of the place that you were in, to get out of the bondage that you were in, to get yourself to freedom. You ignored it. You threw it away. You shooed it away. So you died. Why let the spiritual person die? Why let your best self that you have yet to meet die because you won't go through the process? Enough already. Stop hurting and start healing. And so may the Lord bless you and keep you, cause his face to shine upon you. May the Lord God be gracious to you, show you his favor, and give you shalom, give you his peace. Do the work, y'all. I know it's messy. I know it may be hard, but do the work. It's worth it in the end. Take care. God bless.